Welcome to Suitcase and Chardonnay, the podcast where style meets storytelling and where we blissfully blend travel, fashion, food, wine, and intentional living. I'm Renate Engelbrecht, your host, and this is a space where you can find inspirational lifestyle tips, explore beautiful local and international destinations, and share slow, luxury moments and the little details that make life feel richer. In this second season, we are leaning even deeper into life's unique experiences. From boutique hotels and family weekend escapes, to thoughtful food and fashion, soulful conversations about wine, creativity, and conservation, and the art of slowing down without losing your sense of adventure. Whether you're listening on a morning walk, planning your next getaway, or simply craving a moment of inspiration, you're in exactly the right place. If you love lifestyle podcasts that celebrate travel, fashion, food, and wine, go ahead and follow or subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. And if something resonates, save it, share it, and let it travel further than we ever could alone. Now, if you're ready, let's go. When was the last time that you truly enjoyed just being at home? Like in the moment and with your home being as it is. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Pinterest perfect home. You obviously have certain spaces in your home that you love to be in, but when last did you truly enjoy being in those spaces? I'm asking this question because I think we have lost the ability to just be in the moment within the spaces that we live in, and our homes should be the one place where we truly can just fall back onto a couch and enjoy that special moment, that special feeling of belonging and being somewhere where you feel at home and loved and safe. We kind of just rush through life because there's this pressure of having to perform all the time and hustling and getting to everything every day and lists and lists of things that need to get done. And I think we have really lost touch with ourselves and with what we need to truly live a mindful and intentional life. So I thought I would dedicate this episode to us as human beings, and I think it is a great episode to start with for the month of love, because while I am not necessarily all for this very big self-love thing at the moment, I know that is a big buzzword and I get where it comes from. I do believe that it is true that we need to make time for ourselves because it's important to understand ourselves, and the only way we can do that is if we take time to be quiet in a space where we feel safe, and to reflect and to think about things and to also just enjoy, those special quiet moments that are given to us. And I think there are reasons for it. We need to slow down. We need to learn to understand ourselves better, and we need to be intentional about creating spaces for ourselves to do that. So I think the whole purpose of this episode is mainly just to understand what it is to create that space for ourselves, and to understand that luxury doesn't have to be things. Luxury can truly be just silence. I think you might have spotted quotes and things like that on Pinterest lately where they say life's luxuries are silence and time and health and things like that, a body that can move. And I really feel that is so true in today's lifestyle. We need to appreciate time with loved ones and time with ourselves, and we need to truly be intentional about using that time in the best way possible. And I'm not saying filling that time with lists and lists of things and tick boxes to tick off. I'm saying to be intentional about that time and to allow yourself to be quiet for a bit and to slow down. And last year, in the first season of the Suitcase and Chardonnay podcast, you might have noticed that I am very pro slow living and being intentional about how you spend your time with yourself and your loved ones. And I'm very passionate about traveling because of the experiences and the lessons you learn through that. And I think it all ties in very well with what today's episode is about. It's about that small luxuries that have a big impact on your life. And I'm not talking about physical things that you buy and high-end fashion labels and things like that. I'm talking about those small moments in your home. And it is so easy to create those small moments. And we're going to run through a couple of suggestions. And I'd love to hear from you and, hear what you think and which ones relate to you. And even if you have some more suggestions or other ways in which you perhaps do it already, I'd love to know how you create those quiet corners in your home, those slower moments that allow you to connect with yourself and to spend time with those you love. The first thing I would suggest doing is to bring in some rituals into your home. I'm not saying fancy, schmancy, funny rituals. I'm saying small things like, how the smell of coffee, for instance, has an effect on you in the morning. And I would suggest, if you love coffee, to make time to do that slowly in the mornings, to make coffee and to truly appreciate the smell of the coffee and pouring it into your favorite mug, and maybe just taking 5 minutes on a couch and spending time with yourself and getting yourself ready for the day. Or a cup of tea if you are a tea drinker. And also things like not checking your phone in the first 15 minutes after waking up. That's a ritual that could be easily installed in your life and something that might truly have a big effect because you have time to just get your mind ready for the day without having to, try and understand what's going on online. We feel so rushed instantly if we look at our phones at the first instance when we wake up, and I'm very guilty of that. A spoiler alert, I just need to mention that while I am very, very passionate about slow living and about being intentional about life and the way you live it, I don't always get it right. In fact, I really have struggled with it for the past couple of months, and I think it is because life is so fast and things happen so quickly and you need to get so many things done. At the end of December, I felt there was so much things to still get done before we can go on holiday. And even during the holiday, I felt guilty because I didn't finish everything and I felt like I had to work. And you need to truly just get your mind straight and just decide when you're going to stop working, when you're going to start working again, and then just put that out of your mind for a bit. But that is something that I really struggle with. So please don't think that I get all of these things right at all. And as I mentioned, I am guilty of checking my phone. Once I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I do because it's next to my bed, which probably shouldn't be, but you see, so that's things that you can change that, and it's just a very small thing, but it can have a very big impact. And that's why I'm saying small luxuries, big impact. So that's 2 rituals that you can try. Another ritual is to pour yourself a glass of lemon infused water. and sip on that for a bit and just enjoy the scent of it. I love the scent of lemon in the morning. It's amazing. Throw open the doors. I mean, it's still summer. It's the month of love. Throw open the doors in the morning for some fresh air. Smell the fresh air and smell that lemon infused water. I think that's a great ritual, and also once again a very small one that can make a big impact. Evening wind down rituals can also help you slow down at night, because our minds are so busy and so full of things that it's often difficult to switch off. So evening rituals could also be a great idea and a great way for you to end off the day intentionally. I would suggest something like lighting candles at sunset. As the sun sets, maybe just light 2 or 3 candles throughout the house. If it's scented candles, even better. Find some nice scented candles from some of your favorite brands and keep them in the cupboard for late afternoons. And then while you're cooking, I mean, that's part of life. We need to do that, and we need to make dinner for our families. And I often enjoy listening to some soft music while I'm cooking, and of course pouring myself a nice glass of wine. I've got a blog post that recently went up specifically around Valentine's Day and the month of love, where I mention a couple of really nice rosés or pink wines. And I think for the month of love, that is perfect. So have a look at those suggestions. And in addition to those, I can also definitely recommend Babylon Sturen's rosé. And of course, Groot Visante Krol. They also have a very nice light rosé, perfect for sunset sipping, with some slow music while you're cooking. Another ritual which could also slow things down for you at the end of the day is to get into some nice comfy loungewear. I have recently updated my blog post on locally made sleepwear and loungewear. So if you are wondering what to get yourself or what to invest in for that slow moment and that ritual, then go have a look on the blog. I'll also just share the link in the show notes below. And then just a practical tip with regards to these rituals. I'm not saying do all of them, because then you're gonna put pressure on yourself and you're just gonna probably not do any of it. So pick 1 or 2. Pick one for the morning, one for the evening, and switch them around. Do one day and another the other day. I think it's just really to be intentional about it and to know that you have certain things that you can do to help you to slow down. Then also another thing that has a very big effect on how we feel and that can slow us down instantly is our senses. We have seen the worst of it and we've seen the best of it, because I'm very sensory sensitive. So if there's a lot of noise and a lot of things happening, it feels like my world is spinning and I'm getting crazy. So slow moments are very important for me as a human being. And I realize we're not all the same, but I know that our senses are sensitive, whether it is touch, whether it is sound. So you can decide what you need to be able to slow down during the day, anytime. So for me, scent has a very big effect. And I think, once again, candles make the world of a difference. So if you can find some really nice scented candles somewhere, be sure to have them available somewhere in a cupboard or something, or even as part of a nice tray on a table somewhere, so that when you feel the need to create a nice scent in your home, then you can just quickly light it and feel better about yourself. And then linen sprays and room sprays also have a great effect. And I mean, imagine getting into bed and your bedding or your linen smells so nice, or getting out of your bath and it's this stunning smelling towel that you can wrap yourself in. Those are things that really have a big effect, and it is such a small detail that you can add into your home easily and without having to spend too much money. And then another option is to get some essential oils. Do some research on which essential oils are best for whatever you want to achieve, and then bring that into your home. I know you can also have them in your shower, so that you can smell it and enjoy the scent in there. And there are those shower steamers that you can actually also get from the Body Shop and places like that, which will also have a great effect when you're showering. Scent is one of the fastest ways to change how a space feels, and if it's in your home, even the better. Texture is another one of those sensory things that also has a very big effect on how you feel in your home or in a space. And while it is still summer, I don't think winter is too far. The seasons will be changing soon, with March just around the corner. And I think starting to think about how you can create some cozy corners in your home isn't a bad idea. I actually spotted some really, really stunning mohair throws at Choreocraft the other day, and I thought that is something that I would love to bring into our home, to throw over a couch with a beautiful scattered cushion and make it just a very nice reading nook or something where I can just spend some quiet time. So go and have a look. It really was just the other day that I spotted it there, and it is still online. So if you ever want to bring something like that into your home, it's soft and stunning. So yeah, maybe consider that. Of course, there are also lots of other options in terms of throws and scattered cushions and things that you can bring into your home and into smaller corners that can have a huge effect and just liven a space up and make it look a little bit more cozy and inviting for you to actually want to go and sit down and spend some quiet time on that couch. Of course, crisp linen also has a great effect, and you can find that all over the place. I mean, Volpes has some really nice stuff. Woolworths has some beautiful linen too. White House, and of course, Mango Design is a local brand with some beautiful linen too, and towels and everything. And yeah, their stuff is really also, you know, top quality, and the texture is amazing. So go and have a look. I'll also share the links on the show notes below. Suitcase and Chardonnay is a space for curious minds, romantic souls, travelers, foodies, wine lovers, and curators of a beautifully lived life. If this episode resonated with you, you'll find even more depth, visuals, and storytelling on the blog, where each conversation continues beyond the microphone. Explore it all at suitcaseandchardonnay.co.za and join the community by following along on social media. Natural fibers also has a great effect on how you feel. I have noticed that when I wear natural fibers, it's as if my body is just feels better. And we saw the same with our daughter recently. We bought a sheepskin for her to sleep on at night because she was struggling to sleep, or to fall asleep at least. And instantly that time shortened. She fell asleep much easier, and it was as if it just calmed her senses. So I found that quite interesting and very intriguing actually, and I have become more and more prone to buy natural fibers instead of anything else, because I've just seen the benefits in our home. and it's good for our mental and our physical well-being. I think the energy with natural fibers, I don't necessarily know all the details and the science behind it, but I truly believe that there is an energy that comes with natural fibers, and it has an effect on how you feel. So yeah, definitely a great add-on. Also, sound. Sound is the last thing that I wanted to mention under the sensory parts of this whole episode. I think sound has a very big role to play. And you can decide how you want to bring that into your home. If you are someone who enjoys listening to music and who feels that music has an effect on you, and I don't think many people differ with that. I think everyone will have some or other relationship with music. So yeah, whether it is soft music or classical music or whatever you enjoy listening to in your home, bring that into your home. I found that I kind of stepped away from music for a bit. I don't know why. I think it's probably because my husband and I don't listen to the same music, and I don't want him to feel that I'm only playing my own music. So, but lately I've actually started to listen to music more often, and I truly saw a difference within myself, and I feel calmer and more in tune with myself actually. So yeah, don't forget about the importance of music in your life. And if it's not music and you enjoy listening to, I don't know, white noise, then consider bringing that into your home and listening to white noise for 10 minutes every day or whatever. Make that your ritual. But it is definitely, sound definitely has an effect. And in the home that we are, with the house that we are staying in at the moment, we have a lot of noise from the road that goes past, and that is something that is challenging me at the moment. And there's not much that I can do to change that, but I can create spaces for myself where I can be quiet, and I can create spaces for myself where I can listen to music and block the other sounds out. And then, at the back of our house, we've got these huge trees and there are birds everywhere every morning. So I have created that ritual for myself where in the morning after waking up, I go and make a slow cup of coffee and I just listen to the birds. And I'm intentional about that, and it feels luxurious to me because I make time to be present in that moment and to truly enjoy that special moment. So once again, it truly is about being intentional and putting your mind to something. And sometimes we lose that and we fall out of it and then we fall back into it again. So it's not about perfecting it, it's just about remembering to do it. Something else to think about when it comes to creating those luxurious little spaces in your home is to create cozy corners. I mentioned that a little bit earlier when I spoke about those throws, but I think to have those little personal spaces in your home where it's just for yourself and where you can truly enjoy that cozy corner that is just for you is important. And whether that is in your bedroom, whether it is a reading nook or whatever, decide on what you feel you need in your home where you can feel safe and cocooned and loved and happy. I think it's important to find those spaces within your home where you truly, truly feel very happy. Little sanctuaries. So that could be, like I mentioned, a reading nook or even a writing desk. If you're someone who enjoys journaling, maybe create a space for yourself where you can journal without being disturbed and where you can, a desk that you can pretty up with some nice stationery or some desk accessories or something that you truly enjoy looking at and using. I know Yappy Chef, for example, has some beautiful pens and accessories for desks, and you'll also find some stunning journals from their store, and also Jekyll and Hyde has some beautiful journals to look for. Of course, Typo also has some great stationery, and the Papery is another suggestion. And then, I mean, don't forget the value of having the perfect desk chair or office chair. There are some really beautiful ones out there. I'm just thinking, once again, Corrie Craft is a great example. Cielo has some really great options. And even Mr. Price Home, I mean, if you don't have too much budget, then there are lots of options out there, and Mr. Price Home wouldn't be that expensive. So yeah, just look at what you can do to create those beautiful spaces for yourself where you can truly feel as if it's luxurious, even if you didn't have to spend that much money on it. Even one corner can become that space for self-connection and self-reflection, and I think it's so important to create those corners for yourself. So yeah, I think, and if you want to create a space like that in your home and you don't have much budget, then just consider adding more lights, even if it's just a nice desk lamp or something, or one beautiful object that you truly love, or just a throw over the couch or whatever. Small things, it doesn't have to be a lot, but it will elevate that space instantly, and you would want to go and sit there and spend time there. With it being Valentine's month and the month of love, I wanted to just touch base on romanticizing your home, and without it being a cliche and bringing in red roses and all of those kind of things. I feel like it's important that we just need to, bring in some romance of sorts into your home, and not just for February, but throughout the year. It's important to feel loved, but also to make others feel loved in your home space. So yeah, I wanted you to understand that I feel like romance isn't necessarily about, that one person or the relationship. It can also be atmosphere and intention. And we need to find ways to romanticize life, because we forget about those small little details and those small things that truly make us feel special. And creating that within your own home is a wonderful thing, and I think it's important that we do that. So why don't we just create those magical moments within our home? Why do we have to go out and find it somewhere else if we can bring it inside? Things like candlelit dinners, but on a simple Tuesday night. It doesn't have to be only on Valentine's evening. Shared playlists. I don't know if that's going to work for me and my husband though, because there aren't many songs that we agree on. But I mean, that is one way that you can bring romance into your home. Fresh flowers. I must tell you that is one thing I've recently discovered. I didn't grow up in a house where fresh flowers came into the home often, unless we were somewhere in the veld and we were able to pick some flowers there. We didn't go out and buy fresh flowers from the shop every week. But I went to a Dean's Farm Flowers in Pretoria this week, and I actually picked these ones there, and I must say it kind of just livens up the small moments in our home where I walk past them and I see them. They are so special to me. So, and it brings romance into my home, which is wonderful, and it makes me feel special. So small things like that. with that in mind, I actually also have a blog post on the blog where I give you some suggestions on where you can find some of the best fresh flowers in Pretoria, best flower picking spots and best flower shops. So I'll also link that in the show notes below. Another way that you can do it is to set the table beautifully whenever you have dinner or lunch. Over weekends we enjoy doing that, and it's fun to bring my daughter into the picture as well and allow her to bring that romance into her own little space, you know, and create her own table the way she enjoys it. So whilst it's not always the way I would do it, she clearly enjoys it a lot. So we do give her that space where she can set the table for us, and she goes wild. She truly does. The other thing that is important for this episode is well-being and why it matters. I think we all know that well-being is important, and we are all very intentional about it, but I don't know if we truly understand how we can be well within our homes, and how intentional we should actually be about that. So I think the important thing is to find ways to reduce stress when you're at home, and comfort, to create comfort and to encourage presence. And even if it's just, you know, small things that you can do to teach your children to be present as well. And there, I think I have spoken about it before, but screen time is not a way to create presence at all. So we try to really limit that, and we have been good with that actually lately, where in the week there is no screen time. Over weekends, my husband and I do enjoy lying in a little bit in the mornings, so we would allow them to watch television for a little bit in the morning, but the rest of the day is ours, and we spend quality time together. We go out, we play tennis, we spend some quiet time, or not quiet time, but quality time at home. We play Lego. We sit on the veranda and we play Lego for hours, and we braai outside and we play with the dogs, and it's all things that we do together, which makes the children feel safe and loved and valued. And I think in a sense, as parents, we also feel the same way. So creating those spaces at home is very important. And to also build gratitude. I think once you are thankful and grateful and intentional about thinking about the things that you are grateful for every day, that will also allow you to be well within your home. So when your home supports you, it is a way to get your nervous system to calm down. And I think that is why it is so important to instill these things that we are speaking about in your home. Even if it's just 3 or 4 things that you bring into your home to allow yourself to calm your nervous system and to feel well. So these small luxuries all become a symbol of safety in a way, and care. And I think that is so important for us in these days. I mean, where we often feel unsafe in the world outside, and not necessarily physically, but mentally. So it's so important to create a home where you can feel all of these other good things, and to be mindful about also creating that for your family. So in the end, what I wanted to get to was that these little luxuries aren't necessarily indulgent. Well, they can be, but they're not. That's not the idea. It is actually to know that it is essential. We need to know that we have to have these things, and it doesn't have to cost money. I mean, making a cup of coffee doesn't cost much. So to truly be intentional about enjoying that moment, that's the important part of it all. I think curating your personal paradise does not necessarily happen overnight, and you don't have to do everything at once, but setting your mind to it might be the greatest and perfect first step to creating a home where everyone can feel safe and loved, and where you can feel comfortable in just being you and just being in the moment and being present. Build it slowly. Let me know what you're doing, because I'd love to know. I'd love to know if this episode had an effect on how you think about your home, and if some of the suggestions were valuable to you. I'd love to know what you think, and I'd love to know your thoughts on the topic. I realize that everyone don't necessarily always think the same, and this is just my opinion with regards to creating small spaces within your home that are essentially those spaces that will make you feel well and feel loved and feel safe. Light a candle tonight and see how you feel. I don't know. Do something for yourself and for your family, and enjoy it. Enjoy the moment and be in it. Be in the moment and indulge in the little luxuries that are actually bigger than you think. Until next time, may your home feel like a burst of fresh air. Thank you so much for spending some time with me on Suitcase and Chardonnay. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to follow the podcast or subscribe on your favorite platform. It truly helps the show grow and helps others to discover it too. You can find more stories, travel tips and reviews, style inspiration and curated recommendations over on the blog at Suitcase and Chardonnay, where each episode often lives on in written form, with links, visuals and deeper details. For daily fashion inspo, behind-the-scenes moments and slow-living storytelling, come and say hi on Instagram, Facebook or Pinterest. Just search for Suitcase and Chardonnay. And if this episode sparked something for you, don't forget to save it or share it with someone who loves travel, fashion, food and wine as much as you do. Until next time, keep chasing beauty, spotting the little things, traveling with intention and finding joy in everyday things.